Chongqing is a fantastic place. Granted, I've only spent a day here, but what a day. There was so much to do, and I'm not just talking about the sights. It was the everyday people and everyday places which seemed so unique. On my first day in Chongqing, I was very busy exploring the sights in the city centre. The shops of the modern metropolis, the markets, the Stilwell Museum, and Hongyandong in particular. Now, I've got a bit more time today, so I'm going to head a bit further out and see what the rest of Chongqing has to offer. Like most places in Chongqing, Sichukou Old Town is perched on a hill. This one overlooking the Jianling River in the west of the city. Chongqing is changing day by day. Literally overnight, you'll find brand new skyscrapers or big shopping malls just sprouting out of nowhere. However, if you do want to look at how Chongqing used to be over 100 years ago, then come to Sichukou. It's situated about 15 to 20 minutes from the town centre and is really worth to really catch a glimpse of old school Chongqing. It dates back to the late Ming dynasty around the 15th century AD. In my view, this is the place to come if you really want a taste of traditional Chongqing. Tea houses, dragon dances and temple fairs all make this a great place to really soak up the atmosphere of old Chongqing. So I've just had a brief explanation of what Sichukou stands for. And apparently, well no, literally Sichi means porcelain and Kou in this context means port. And it was given this name because back in the day, several hundred years ago, it was one of China's main porcelain ports for transportation. And right here beside me we have a very jolly depiction of how things used to look, but I'm not really sure I would have fitted in. A lot of muscle going on around here. Formerly a porcelain production and distribution centre and port, it is filled with flagstones, 100-year-old streets and wooden buildings. Ancient depictions of the town show it as a hub of activity. And it really is. There's commotion everywhere. It's one of the few times I'll ever advise you to search out the crowds, strangely enough. I really do recommend coming here at the weekend. You'll find the entire area teeming with tourists and locals, but it will above all be a way to see how little has changed over the past couple of 100 years. The crowds were there then, and they're here now. For many locals, this is the heart of Chongqing, which is why it's also known as Little Chongqing. So, I'm right at the edge of the river, here in the heart of Sichukou Port. Now, back in the day, this place would have been teeming, full of people carrying porcelain goods onto the ships and taking them off again. Now, not a huge amount has changed in the last couple of 100 years. Certainly, there's a lot less porcelain, but everyone is still, it's still completely alive here down by the water. And people come for a cup of tea, have a chat with some friends, and just enjoy the weekend like today. Right, so once you've got your bearings, follow the main road down to the river, and you'll really get a taste of what the Chongqing people enjoy doing at the weekend. Like most activities in the city, it's all about getting together with friends and relaxing. Here you can find old and young playing cards and mahjong, chatting away and just taking the atmosphere in. There's all sorts of fun to be had by everyone. It's particularly enjoyable to watch families spending time together. Grandparents, parents and children on a typical Chongqing weekend. This road is a hustle and bustle incarnate, filled with shops, restaurants, street performers, and every type of stall under the sun. The commercial street is perfect if you want to pick up some gifts to give to friends. You can find traditional Chongqing souvenirs as well as typically Chinese memorabilia. Now, if you like putting on weight or love going to the dentist, then you'll be in high heaven here.
Where are you from? From India. What are you doing all the way down in Chongqing? Wow.
There's an absolute plethora of snacks and sweets to be enjoyed all along the main road. The beauty of the area is that once you veer off the populated high street, you'll be hit by a lived-in Sechiko. People going about their daily lives, barely acknowledging that hordes of tourists are roaming the nearby streets. It's with a touch of luck and some inside knowledge from our tour guide that we head to a traditional Sichuan opera. This is an experience to say the least. At first, it feels like some local open call auditions for something bigger, as several different people take to the stage and entertain the crowd. The fact is that this is very much a local production for the locals. It's certainly worth seeing some of the show, as you can be treated to the famous art of Bian Lian, or face changing as it's more commonly known. Face changing was first used in a story about a hero who stole from the rich to help the poor. When he was caught, he changed his face to confuse his captors and escaped as a result. I have no idea how this face changing works, and am informed that it's actually a secretive art form that requires extensive training. Very impressive. From Sechiko, I head back to Nanbinglu, taking in the sights of the river beside me and the alluring lights. I'm very excited about my first taste of Chongqing's most famous dish, hot pot and night views. What else could a man want? Now, hot pot is Chongqing's favourite dish. It's eaten all year round, even in the summer months, when most of us are cowering by our air conditioners eating ice cream. You can find hot pot restaurants all over Chongqing and all over China, but no one eats hot pot like Chongqingers.
Now, when you come to Chongqing, you'll find that pretty much everybody eats hot pot. And hot pot's what we've got in front of us. It's the kind of thing where you get together with some friends, or head to a restaurant, pick out some fresh dishes like we've got here, and then just tuck in. Just throw some things right in to this chili sauce they have here, chili oil. Now, I've had a little explanation of what hot pot is, and essentially speaking, it does differ in each of the different regions. But here we have hot chili oil, put in the vegetables. If it's too hot for you, you can have it into what they call the milder broth. And then you stick it in this sauce. Now, the sauces differ in every region. But here in Chongqing, they like to put sesame oil with garlic and MSG. And that helps to cool the actual, to make it cooler. And also to make it less hot, chili hot. Which is a good thing, I think. Hey, how often do you eat hot pot? 2 or 3 times in 1 week?
Yeah.
Wow, what age do you first eat hot pot?
When I was 7 years old.
7 years old?
Yeah.
你有几岁？你先吃这个辣的火锅，你有几岁？5岁，我5岁开始吃。5岁。
不可能是吗？
我女儿3岁就开始吃这个。
Okay, so the first time he ate the hot bit of the hot pot, the chili bit, he was 5 years old, and he just told me that his daughter started at 3. She just had her first hot pot at 3 years old. Unbelievable! I can't even eat it at my age. Unbelievable! Oh, 这么厉害.
Don't worry though if spice isn't your thing. Just tell the waiter you're pa la, and they'll bring the lighter broth, as it literally means scared of spice. Eating hot pot is almost exclusively a group affair. In all my time in Chongqing, I never once saw people eating hot pot on their own. You can go to certain restaurants that serve individual hot pots, but you'll still find people eating in groups. The thing I loved about the hot pot is that it's inherently a lot of fun to eat. It's full of life and action as you fish around for different types of food. All the ingredients are fresh and organic. Hot pot does differ from place to place. Some areas prefer using fish over meat, and others use different types of sauce to cool the food down. In my view, it's a wonderful type of meal to have, and I had an absolute blast celebrating my birthday, Chongqing style, with hot pot and cake.
Thanks guys.
I was very touched by the thoughtfulness of the people there, and it really was a genuine surprise when the cake came up. I think I seem a little embarrassed to be caught so unawares. If you've got a bit of time to spare, head west for about 100 kilometers and you'll come to Dazhu County.
Well, finally made it to Baodingshan, and it's situated about 100 kilometers west of Chongqing, so it's taken us 2 hours. This is as far as our car go, but I'm going to get to the top with this wonderful little electric car over here, which is free, so I'll see you later.
It's the place to view some 50,000 Buddhist cliff sculptures dating back hundreds of years, which are carved into caves and overhangs in the surrounding lush green hills. There are buses every half hour from Chongqing that take roughly 2 hours to get to the grotto art of Dazhu County.
Right, we made it. Time to walk to the carvings.
There are 5 sections in all that have these rock carvings, but most people tend to go to 2 out of the 5, namely Baodingshan and Beishan.
Here it is, my little ticket that will let me into Baodingshan and Beishan, so all the rock carvings that you can really want. Oh, wrong place, let's go in here.
Once at Baodingshan, if you really want to understand and appreciate the culture, do hire the English-speaking tour guide.
Okay.
It's 150 RMB at the time of writing. It's definitely worth
Cultural
it.
heritage. Right, really strongly suggest that you grab a tour guide like I have, who can speak English, and that will mean that I will get to have everything introduced to me and understand all of the rock carvings.
Take a look, you can see this carving, 800 years old.
800 years old.
In position is number 1.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one.
Wow.
Start from him, others at the same time, around here. Look at this carving. You see this carving, no Buddha, no Bodhisattva. All come from the countryside life.
Oh, right.
So look very rustic.
So what is that? What is that?
Water buffalo. You can see herdsman to herdsman.
Oh, just hanging out with the water buffalo, having fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
You see, they're symbolizing the 4 Buddhist guardians.
Right.
This carving about traditional Chinese Confucianism. We call it parental love.
Parental life.
Yeah.
Right. It's like a...
Yeah. The picture about the Confucius teaching. How parents bring up their children.
The Confucian piece depicting how to raise a child is also entrancing. You see its life from birth to death, and the importance of looking after your parents once you grow up. There are life lessons all around in Dazhu. The intricacy with which the statues are carved is quite phenomenal. The sheer variety and volume of statues here dazzles. There are heroes of Buddhism, historical scenes and figures, as well as depictions of daily life in the countryside.
Baodingshan, in stark contrast to Beishan, as you'll see later, is the brainchild of just one monk, Zhao Jifeng, who raised the money, designed and oversaw the carving between 1179 and 1245. Don't forget to take a look at the 18 layers of hell. It certainly gave me a timely reminder of how I should behave if I don't want to end up like the people there.
Take a look, you could see the three sculptures. There are three tallest sculptures around here.
Right.
Very, very tall.
Pretty
8 meters.
cool, yeah.
Yeah, 8 meters.
Wow.
8 meters from the head to the feet.
What are they?
They are the middle, Buddha Sakyamuni. This one, he named Bodhisattva of wisdom, symbolizing wisdom, very intelligible. Because they hold a small pagoda. If you like, make a guess how high it is.
How high?
Yeah.
A meter? 1 meter?
Almost 2 meters.
Wow.
1 meter 85.
Okay.
And how many kilograms?
It's probably
Weight?
about the same weight as me. You've been working out, right?
More than 400 kilograms.
Right. Okay. So really not like me. 400.
Yeah.
Wow,
Shock
wow.
you?
Although 800 years have passed since these grottos were made, many of the statues have held up remarkably well. None more so than the 3 Buddhas, where the pagoda is said to weigh over half a ton. No surprise that many students come here to paint such impressive sights as the 31 meter long, 5 meter high, reclining Buddha depicted entering Nirvana. The statue is flanked by some realistic portraits of important donors. If I had any artistic skill whatsoever, which I don't, I'd love to spend the day in the sun, like today, painting this incredible structure. From here, it's only a quick 16-kilometer ride northeast to Beishan, where you're met with an altogether different style of rock carving, which is impressive all the same. Whereas Baodingshan was the work of one man, the structures here were constructed over hundreds of years throughout many different dynasties.
So I'm here in Beishan, and we're looking at rock carvings that were built in 892 AD, and that's almost 250 years earlier than Baodingshan. Now, over at Baodingshan, we were looking at local life, or the depiction of local life, and here it's much more about Buddhism and the Buddhist religion. But look how well preserved everything is.
Of the 2 sites, this one is smaller and so requires less time to visit. What makes this site, as well as Baodingshan, so special is not the scale, although certain carvings really are impressive in that way, but the quality, state of preservation, and variety of subject and style. Beishan actually includes Dazu's earliest works, which were begun in 892 AD by the military governor at the time, who was posted here whilst campaigning against Sichuanese insurgents.
So, what you'll find here is that each of the carvings were made in different dynasties, and in some ways is representative of each one. So the more affluent, wealthy, longer, less war-torn dynasties are bound to have bigger and more impressive sculptures. And then the poor little dynasties like the Wu Dai behind, which only lasted 13 years, don't really have the cash to spend. So have a look.
You'll find that the carvings here differ greatly from dynasty to dynasty, although all hold some sort of religious symbolism. It's amazing to think how well a lot of these carvings have survived the test of time. I'm genuinely blown away by this part. Definitely bring a guidebook though that can highlight the meaning of each carving, as it will make the experience far more wholesome. Either that, or just hire another tour guide like we did. It's definitely money well spent.
So I'm here at one of the pearls of Chinese grotto art, and it's very simple, very easy to see why. I mean, everything here is just so beautifully and intricately carved. Take this rock carving of Guan Yin. She's looking down on me with her eyes are open, and her skin is so smooth and so lifelike. It really highlights the Chinese heritage of rock carving, and let's be honest, it's worth the trip alone. It's really too tough to call which one out of the two rock carving places I prefer. If you want a well-preserved experience, head to Baodingshan. If you're more into seeing less refurbished, but how it is how it is work, come to Beishan. At the end of the day, both places rock. Excuse the pun. Now, Chongqing is also very famous for its hot springs. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of them scattered around the municipality. Now, I've been dropped off about a half an hour west of Chongqing city centre at the Bay Tea Hot Spring Resort. And I'm told that right here is the perfect place to get some R&R. So let's go and see what it's like. Personally, I don't think any holiday is ever complete without some well-deserved rest and relaxation. Chongqing is famous for having dozens of hot springs scattered around the municipality. Out of the 40 counties that make up Chongqing, 38 have at least one hot spring inside. There are many resorts like this one throughout the area, and I can't recommend coming here enough. With all sorts of different types of springs, as well as more standard poolside attractions, you'll find it hard not to relax here. Now, all of the hot spring resorts differ in their own ways. Here we have lots of little hot springs with different functionalities for each one. This one is a tea hot spring, and what that one does is help you lose weight, I've been told. The next one is a red wine hot spring, and that one's to help stimulate the red blood cells. And the one on the left is for vinegar to help your skin. There are lots of other ones, ginseng, flowers, but it's the weekend. I'm going to have some red wine. Being inland and so far away from the sea, this is a perfect place to get that seaside holiday feeling. I particularly enjoyed the Suckerfish hot spring, as I've never been to anything like it. All in all, it doesn't matter what the temperature is on the outside, as you'll soon be heating up in one of the numerous pools here. Pure, unabated pleasure. It's no wonder that even during the middle of the week, you can still find so many people relaxing and having a good laugh here. Again, I go back to thinking how easily I could fit into this Chongqing lifestyle. Well, following a wonderful day outside the city limits, it's nice to come back to town and get ready for another must-do activity in Chongqing. We've conquered the air with the cable car, now it's time to conquer the water. Right, so that's where I'm about to go, and if there are a couple of things that you really should do when you come to Chongqing, the first thing is to try out their wonderful hot pot, and the second thing is a nighttime riverside cruise where you'll get to see the whole of the city and also enjoy a few beers and a hell of a lot of food, so I'm going to go check that out. This 2-hour boat ride is just what the doctor ordered in terms of sightseeing. You can sit with your friends, which you've probably guessed by now is a recurring theme in Chongqing. Have some dinner and marvel at the beauty that is Chongqing by night. No need to pack a picnic, there's food and drinks available here. Don't be surprised though if you find yourself fighting for places on the coveted tables above. The boat rides are an extremely popular attraction here in Chongqing, for locals and tourists alike. I've been on here for about half an hour and I thoroughly recommend that you take the nighttime boat trip around Chongqing. I could be in Hong Kong right now, what with the bright lights behind me, but it's just, it's worth the whole trip alone. Oh, check it out, check it out. Don't be surprised to find that everyone on the boat is equipped with a camera or a video camera. And make sure you do the same. You're not going to want to miss capturing the incredible nighttime sights for posterity. Because nighttime Chongqing is arguably going to be your most abiding memory of the city, which comes alive at night. It really was for me the icing on the Chongqing cake with which I've stuffed myself over the last 3 days. I'm happy and I'm full. Well, hopefully
the camera is doing justice to just how peaceful and relaxed the atmosphere is here today. I mean, I'm on top of the world, strolling along the river, taking in the beauty that is Chongqing at night. I mean, have a look at that behind me. Unfortunately, that's all the time we've got left for today, but I really hope you've enjoyed discovering this fascinating city. I'm Mark Edwards, and I'll catch you very soon on another episode of Travelogue.